What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new edition to RotoGrinders NFL season. This is the Prop Shop Show with my man Will Priester, Chief Justice 06, master in charge of the Chiefs Prop Shop in the RotoGrinders Discord, a free Discord channel. Any of you wanting to play props, the prop sites, we're not affiliated with any of these. We're just doing the show for fun because me and Will like it. So we can talk Prize Picks, Underdog, Thrive, Monkey Knife Fight, whatever you got for these prop sites. This is what this show is going to be about this year. And Will and I have sort of engulfed in it. I've sort of taken, Chief, I know sports betting's come so big in New York. And as big as that is to me, the prop sites are where the money is, dude. So what do you want out of the show? This is your show, dude. What do you want out of this? You're the master of the prop shop.
Well, first of all, if you're in the prop shop, I want people to make money, first of all, and I want you to be successful. Like, I don't want you to come in the prop shop and then a year from now you're not profitable. So that's number one. If you're new to what we have going on, it's the joint sweat. We're all trying to make money together. We're going to tail each other's plays. I'm not saying you have to tail everything. That's not what this is about. But we put the time in to put you on plays that we think are going to be successful with good research. And so I know Brit himself. Don't let Brit fool you. He's a master of this, and we'll always have really good nuggets. Brit's in the prop shop all the time, so I appreciate him coming in, hanging out with us. A lot of other good guys in the prop shop. Trip. Gallant, it's on.
Shout outs.
Chovy, Plain Jane, KK. That's Kyler, by the way. I'm trying not to forget names. J-Ro, all you guys. If I left anybody out, please don't take offense. Chat. It's so many people, man. Like, we're all contributing. We're all making money together, and it's free. Like, I don't think there's a better Discord channel for props in the industry. And I'm saying Discord channel, and that's not an insult. I've got plenty of friends, and hopefully some of those friends will come on the show a couple of times this season. So be on the lookout for that as well. Shout out to all my friends in the industry. Sean Mitchell, Big Fish Caps, Dion, Chris. Chris goes by Running Rebels, by the way. It's a lot, man. All of these guys are my friends. CJ Curry. Everybody, like, these are my boys. These are my friends. We're colleagues. I respect them. And we're going to try to bring the heat every week. And look, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my boy Nards, who will have sheets up for days for us to track some of my favorite props, which are tackles, which we'll get into later. But my boy Nards, he's got sheets for days. NBA first half. Shout out to everybody. Like, everybody that's impacting the game, making positive contributions. This show is for the prop shop. This show is for everybody that wants to get into prop shop. This show is for all my colleagues. I love you guys. Let's roll.
Yeah, Chief pouring his heart out, and I too appreciate everyone in the prop shop that Chief mentioned and more. There's the RotoGrinders community. It's great, but if you get in the prop shop, it's a little bit smaller of a community, but everyone's dedicated, and it's not DFS. You're trying to beat everybody else. Chief, we're just trying to beat the books, man. It's way more fun to beat the books.
For sure. Just trying to get the books, bro. Like, put money in my pocket. It's so fun. Like, so let me at least say this before we get cranked up. I do think, and I'm gonna give I think last year I felt like, and I could be wrong, my guys and gals in the shop, you guys can chime in if you want. I think the biggest football sweat we had last year was Hayward tackles from the Steelers. That's what I think, because he got it like the last drive. Prop shop was lit. I mean, it was like Christmas in there. And so hopefully we can get a few more of those going this season. We had some big wins last year. And so I'm very excited to get rolling with this football season. And it's going to be good. That's all I can say. It's going to be good.
So let's get into this, Chief. So we've got a couple different plays, a couple different sites. We're just going to sort of get into some of our favorite props of the week. I've got this pulled up here. Prize Picks does have most of my play is on Prize Picks this week. I found the best lines, That's where I'm playing a lot. I'm playing some on Underdog, Monkey Knife Fight, a couple others. But I got Prize Picks up. One, because they got this cool promo. If Tom Brady throws for a half a yard, right, if his wife doesn't make him retire from football by the time the season starts, and he throws for a half a yard, it's a freebie play on this. And you can mix this in with anything else. There's a lot of other ways to play. Chief and I are going to talk about this. But, Chief, let's just jump. Thursday's coming up. We're recording this on Tuesday night. It is live. You guys want to ask questions in YouTube or in the Prop Shop chat, I'll try to get a hold of that during the show. But let's get into Thursday night. I've got a couple of props. Let's see here. Where's the little Thursday night here? You talked kickers.
Listen,
this is where the money gets made in the prop shop on things like kickers and tackles. I've got some other plays too, but Chief loves the Thursday night kickers. Let's get right into Thursday night, Chief. What are some of your best plays?
Yeah, man. Tyler Bass, Matt Gay. I definitely think both of these guys are going to kick at least 2 field goals. They're probably going to both kick. They may even both kick 2 in the first half. These defenses should still be pretty good, right? But I do think these offenses will be able to move the ball, which is going to lead to bend but don't break sometimes. They might let you have it inside the 20s. You get close to the 20, they're tightening up. I definitely think that's going to lead to some field goals for these guys. If nothing else, Brit, we get a field goal before the half with the team trying to drive. We get one at the end of the game, for the win. These are the types of situations we have to take into account. So these are two of my favorite plays on the board, period. Like, I'm powering these. If you're in the prop shop, you hear us say nuke all the time. If you're in the prop industry, you hear us talking about nuking. I'm for sure going at least 3 units on this. So for me, that's $300 to pull back in $900. So I'm absolutely going for this one. I think these are 2 of the best props on the board. And then my add-in, and I'm coming out of the gate with tackles early, even though we haven't seen a lot of action. I'm coming out early. I'm taking A'Shawn Robertson over 3.5 tackles. I looked at his game log from last season. He's got about a 75-ish to 80% hit rate over 3.5. And I'll just kind of call it out from week 1 all the way through the Super Bowl. 1, 6, 5, 4, 1, 3, 3, 6, 8, 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, 6, 6, 7, 3, 6, 6. Like, he's going to be a tackle machine, I think, especially because we know that Josh Allen's going to try to get out of the pocket a little bit, which may lead to them funneling him back inside, especially if they spy him a little bit and try to keep him between the hash marks. So I like A'Shawn Robinson at 3.5. He's definitely one that I'm going to get in there. And then in terms of our 15X play, let me ask you this, Britt. How much do you buy into? I know they said Matt Stafford's elbow, shoulder, his arm is fine. But I looked at his passing attempts prop.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but at 36.5, I could be wrong. I'm inclined to take the under this week to see if they try to conserve his arm to help him make it through the bulk of the season. Now, once again, I could be wrong, but instead of me taking the under on the passing yards, I'm thinking about going under on pass attempts at 36.5. That's kind of a speculation play for me. How do you feel about that one? Have you thought about it? Because that's going to be a part of my 15X. If so, I'll post that in the prop shop once I kind of solidify it.
The completions is 24. I think either 24 is probably about right. I don't mind the completion or the attempts on that one. I think that's a fine way. And you're juicing this up to get the 15X on Prize Picks specifically. So what I want to spend, there's going to be people, Chief, that don't know what any of these prop sites are and how they pay out. So I want to go over this so people understand as they progress through the season. So, right, Tyler Bass and Matt Gay, you like them both to kick over 1.5 field goals. On a site like Prize Picks, or if Underdog, or if any prop shop or any prop site had this particular prop, if you put 2 of them together, think of it like a plus 200 bet in the sports book. You're risking, say, 10 to win 30 or 100 to win 300. You're getting the plus 200 odds. And there's set odds, too, on the prop sites, which I like because I'm going to mix in maybe like a same game parlay. You don't get hit on the odds if you sort of mix in same game parlays on the prop sites for the most part. That's a little sneaky way to boost your return and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's ways, and you can find out more about this in the Prop Shop Discord, ways to get your payouts. If you pick 5, normally it's like a 10x payout on a site like Prize Picks, but if you structure the lineup correctly, you can get up to a 15x payout, which really, if you like the props anyway, of course, hey, I want the extra 5x payout, Chief. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
You can find out more about things like that in the Prop Shop, but just the odds are usually reasonably comparable. What I found one of the bigger edges is the lines are much more likely to change on the sports books fast, within seconds. On the prop sites, they could take minutes or even hours, even days for them to change a stale line. So you're able to take advantage of information a little bit easier on the prop sites, which is why one of the reasons they're so popular in the Prop Shop, because we're all searching for every edge that we can out there, and we're able to get that edge a little bit easier, I think, on the prop sites, right, Chief?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I definitely think the edge is the sites a lot of times. You talked about them not adjusting, which when we start getting into Sunday, I've got one that's that's very interesting. And look, I'm in the Prop Shop chat. They're calling me out, which is why I should not have called names. But of course, I love Quinella. Of course, I love Watch Out in the gang. I can't remember everybody on the spot.
There's too many. It's a great community.
Charge it to my head, not my heart. You guys know I love you, and let's get rolling. But I think we're going to hammer the prop sites this year, and I hope it pays off for us. And I know typically we have our projections over. I think they're just trying to catch up a little bit since it's the first week. They did have some earlier this week when I looked, and I think they're kind of resetting them. But hopefully, we'll get those premium projections up.
I want to note too,
kind of see them.
If you are a RotoGrinders premium member, we have a free extension in the Google Chrome store that will overlay the RotoGrinders premium projections. Something's wrong with it currently if you're watching live on the screen or on a replay, but it'll put the RotoGrinders base projection overlay right over the player, which makes it absolutely amazing. Chief, my Thursday play, Gabe Davis going over 56.5. He's a full-time receiver. He might be the wide receiver 1 on this Bills team when it's all said and done. So that's my Thursday prop for sure.
I think he's wide receiver 1 anyway. I held that one back. I honestly figured you were going to give that out because, I am expecting Ramsey to, in a sense, kind of be on Diggs most of the game, which should open it up for Davis anyway. As a result of that, Brit, I actually really like the tight end as well. I think it's going to be enough to go around. Like Dawson Knox at 37.5 isn't really that bad considering he's a guy that can catch, 20, 30-yard passes. He may be able to get this in 1 or 2 catches. I think his receptions line was at 3.5, which isn't too bad as well.
It's at 3.
What's that?
3.
Oh man, we're getting push picks right out of the gate. 3. I might
change the hat to push picks.
I might take Dawson Knox at 3. The prop shop knows they will get whatever I play for Thursday night. I think Dawson Knox at 3 is a good play. I don't like the put. I'm not playing it for the push. I think he can get the 4 receptions for sure because of the Diggs coverage. But at 3, I think that's tasty. I think I'm in at 3. For sure.
All right. I want to move on to, so that's Thursday. There's going to be people watching this Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, things like that, and listening to it on the pod feed. I want to move to NFL season long because you can play NFL season long props, and I think these are some of the most exploitable props you can get out there. I'm just trying to find my screen that has it all. All right. So this is my NFL season long prop. The guys in the prop shop, you know some of this already because we had that free $5,000 freebie Prize Picks has given us, and we're all sort of rolling with some of these. But for the people that aren't on this, the people that are new on Prize Picks, season long, I'm going to go over my 5 favorite season long props and why. And you can get these in. You can win up to 10x. A lot of people don't like tying their money up for the season. But to me, Chief, if you're playing every day, which me and you do, it doesn't matter. I'll tie it up for 2 years because I'm still going to be playing in 2 years. I know it doesn't seem like the greatest way to do it, but I like the season-long props. So real quick, Jonathan Taylor, 100-yard rush games, 9.5. I'm going the under. He had 10 last year in like a historic season. They got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz by a long shot, in my opinion. And this Nyheim Hines hype just keeps building and building, Chief. I don't know if he's going to get the 10 he had last year. That's a lot. And not to mention, I don't think Jonathan Taylor, I think I heard a stat, he hasn't missed a practice since high school. So he's literally never been hurt. But if one game, if he misses one game, like the under on this is going to hit. So there's a lot that has to go right from the over. I'm on the under on this one. I'm correlating that with Michael Pittman over 1,025 yards. He hit that with Carson Wentz last year. He's going to hit it with Matt Ryan this year. It's pretty simple. I'm not really trying to overthink that. And that's sort of what I talked about. You're getting correlation on a season-long prop. You can never do this on a sports book, but a site, there's a couple other sites that have the season-long stuff. You're allowed to do things like that. I know we're both on Jameis Winston. You're going to hear Jameis Winston a little bit later, from both of us. But the over 2.5 300-yard games. So think of this like getting the DraftKings bonus in 2.5 games for Jameis Winston. He had nobody to throw to last year, Chief. He's got actual NFL quality wide receivers. He's got Chris Olave. He's got Michael Thomas back. Taysom Hill's going to play tight end. You know, there's like actual weapons out there for him to throw the football to. Playing in a dome for like 10 or 11 or 12 games, that's an easy over for me. Cooper Kupp's at 1,300. Dude had like 1,900 last year. I don't know why the line is 1,300 this year. Do you see? I don't really see much different from this Rams offense than last year. He's going to be the dude.
I'm with you.
It's that simple. My one hot take one is Justin Herbert, less than 9.5 300-yard passing games. And I'm just saying he had 10 last year. And I think in the now we got an extra game last year. But in the history of the NFL, only 17 times has a player passed for over 300 yards 10 times in a season. We got the extra game, whatever. But it's pretty tough to do that. And one injury, Keenan Allen's older. He's declining a little bit. Mike Williams comes down on his shoulder the wrong way on one of those jump balls. He's out for 6 weeks, right? There's a lot of ways this can break my way. This is my season-long prop. You can get a 10X if you get all 5. If you get 4 right, you double your money. And even if you just get 3, they give you like a token 0.4, like if you bet 100, you get $40 back or something like that. I don't know. This is all going to win. I know the prop shop's riding with a lot of these. This is my season-long prop on Prize Picks. I wanted to get that out early because you can still get these in right now. What do you think of these, Chief?
Yeah, I like those, man, for sure. And I think we're on some of those anyway. Like if you're in a prop shop, you already know like some of these. I will say, man, and I didn't expect this to be my favorite season-long prop, but as I was digging through numbers, like Ezekiel Elliott at 875.5 ended up jumping off the page as I dug through everything. And if you go back and look at this, Zeke hasn't gone under 900 yards like ever in any season. So to have him at 875, I know, there's this somewhat emergence of Tony Pollard. Here's the deal, folks, and this is what I know. Tony Pollard does not get paid Ezekiel Elliott money. Whether you think his contract is bad or good, doesn't matter. Zeke is still the lead back, and just even outside of that, his worst year, he was around 940 yards rushing. I think Zeke's going to go. I mean, and last year, Zeke, we thought he had like a real bad year, and he still ended with 1,002 yards. So I just can't see how Zeke goes under 875. I really, really, really like that prop. That's one of my favorite season longs for sure. If you can find that one on the books, go get it in a hurry.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to power that with Winston as soon as we get off air. That 2.5 on Winston may be one of my favorite ones there. So before we get into some Sunday picks, I want to remind you guys, head over to the RotoGrinders Discord. It's free. If you set up your RotoGrinders account with it, you will be able to get access to the prop shop. I don't think I can bring it on my screen how I have it set up here, but it's where you get I won't even call it access. It's just a community of people who are playing all the prop sites all day long. You get to see what they're betting. If you pay attention, there are some very, very smart people, maybe smarter than Chief, smarter than me for sure, who just it's like a printing press. I almost want to say sometimes. There's some very smart people in there. People post their cards. It's a great little community, all for free. Chiefs put this together along with RotoGrinders. Go check that out. Just an awesome, awesome community, and happy to be a part of it and happy to be on this show with you, Chief. Chief, let's get to. Oh, wait, that's mine. All right, we're going to save that one. Let's get to Chief's favorite Sunday plays. I've got a blank screen up here, Chief.
Yes.
What are we playing? I got mine, and I think we both have one of our favorite plays of the same player, but a different prop. So that's going to be fun to talk about because we can only play one.
I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that one. I'm going to come out of the gate a little bit hot. I'm coming out. Here's the deal. If you look at last season's numbers, and I know last season isn't completely relevant to this season, but when you look, if not a lot has, I'm not expecting teams to just come out and suddenly magically have a stout shutdown defense. And right out of the gate, JT gets like the matchup of a lifetime. He's facing the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? I mean, the Houston Texans, the Houston Texans right out of the gate. And you're probably saying, well, he's at 98.5. God, that feels high. Trust me, folks. Houston was getting gas all season. Huge differential, in my opinion. Thrive is giving us the better line on JT. He's at 92.5 on Thrive. Wanted to point that out right out of the gate. If you want to play JT this week, go get him on Thrive before they move him. He's 98.5 on Prize Picks. He's 98.5 on Underdog. He's 92.5 on Thrive. JT across the board, I like him anyway. To be able to get that 6-yard discount, I think it's a big deal for me. I don't even know if I'm going to play him on Prize Picks, considering I'm getting a 6-yard discount right now. I'm probably going to just hammer him on Thrive until they catch up. And so that's where I am. That's like one of my favorite plays. So would I play it on Prize Picks? Yes, I do think he's going over 100 this week because of the matchup. But at 92.5, the 6-yard discount is a big deal for me. So I'm playing him mostly on Thrive. Wanted to get that one out early before they start moving lines.
Yeah, and I want to know on Thrive. Thrive is like a $250,000 tournament week 1, guys. So go check that out. Basically, it's a prop tournament DFS style. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out because me and Chief are going to be pouring some entries into that thing for sure.
Yes.
What you want me to give a couple of my plays? You wanna keep going on your plays? You got a 5-pick, you got a power. What do you want to talk about?
I'll give you one more because that one I wanted to point it out because of the yard differential. So that was that one. My 2 favorite running back plays though are actually Antonio Gibson over 57.5 and Joe Mixon over 68.5. Look, I don't believe the Steelers made any major changes enough to make any noise. And I mean, Gibson's facing Jacksonville. I don't think Jacksonville made enough major changes to make any noise. 57.5 on Gibson, that's too low. Like Gibson's probably going for at least 75 in this game. I think the books got this one wrong. And then Joe Mixon. This one, it didn't shock me completely, but it did shock me in terms of what happened last season. What if I told you the Pittsburgh Steelers last season were giving up the most rushing yards per game, followed by Houston, which is why I like JT so much. Pittsburgh was at 143.8. Houston was at 142.2. And we're pretty much getting 2 workhorse backs against potentially 2 of the worst rushing defenses again. We'll see. I'm sure they'll make some adjustments. But I just don't believe Joe Mixon isn't going to pick up 75 yards in this game. We're getting him on most sites at 68.5. He's at 68.5 on Prize, 67.5 on Thrive, 67.5 on Underdog. Joe Mixon is like an incredible play this week. And then you throw in Gibson at 57.5 across all sites. I don't like Gibson, Mixon. I'm hammering those guys this week. I think those are 2 of the best rushing props for running backs on the slate. Really like those guys. I am sneakily in love with Ezekiel Elliott at like 46.5. Like I know that the Buccaneers have had this incredible rush defense, but for a guy that's mostly a workhorse back, 46.5 is, I mean, he's probably going to get 16 carries in this game minimum, I would say. I could be wrong, but I still think 46.5 is a tad low. I do not like Zeke better than Gibson or Mixon, but I'm still intrigued. I will have some. But those are like, those 2 rushing plays, Gibson and Mixon. Two of my favorite plays on the board, hands down.
Yeah. So a couple of my plays I was going to talk about. They took the lines either down or they moved them so much cheap. I had to get rid of some of my favorite plays. I was hoping I hit them all last night, right? This is why we're doing the prop shop show early in the week, because you got to, when you're prop betting, you got to get these lines early in the week because they disappear or they move one way or the other by the time Sunday rolls around. So we're trying to do this as early as we can in the week to get you to them. But I still found plenty of my favorites here. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little correlation. I've got Justin Fields over 91.5 yards. So this is the hold your nose and click it, Chief. Is Justin Fields over 191. Number one, he's at 201 on all the books right now. So we're getting a discount on all the books. I
like that.
He hit this towards the end of the season. He started doing these good. He hit in 3 of his 4 final games. I was looking at the RotoGrinders and the Blitz projections from Derek Carty. Both have them well over the 190 by like 20, 30, 40 yards, right? And I know San Francisco has a good I think San Francisco wins this game pretty easily. What's that? 4th garbage time, Chief? Those yards count when you're playing the props. For me, they count in fantasy.
Brit, so can you imagine if we had Blake Bortles props like 4 or 5 years ago? My
like
God.
215 and he did 300 every year. Every
freaking game, 300 plus. He'd have 100 yards in the 3rd quarter and 300 by the end of the 4th. Oh my goodness, it was lovely. All right, Britt, sorry. Back to you, brother.
Yeah, so I'm correlating that as one of my favorite plays with Darnell Mooney at 55.5 because I don't know. Can you name anyone else that's going to catch balls from Justin Fields, Chief? Because it's very limited. And there's Cole Kmet, there's David Montgomery, and then it's a whole bunch of scrubs catching the football. And if Fields is going to be chucking the ball, Mooney, I think Mooney is a very legitimate wide receiver 1, specifically for this Bears team. He went over this. Let me check notes. In 4 of his 5 games without Allen Robinson last year, there's really no one replacing Allen Robinson. He had 64 against the Niners last year as well. So this, like, if you play this as a same game parlay on one of the sports books, they would knock this down to like plus 125, right? Because you're correlating the over passing yards with the receiving yards. And there's no knocking of the odds on these. That's how the rules work on these sites. They have to keep the lines. And you can't play all one team on the same team. But when you're mixing together, if you can find something like this to mix in there, I mean, it's not free money because you still have to hit the plays, but it adds so much advantage to your lineups that I make a lot of my football teams with some sort of correlation. I was on the mixin. That was on my list, Chief. Absolutely slaughtered the Steelers last year.
Oh,
so I'm on the mixin prop 68.5. I think you can find one sports book that has it at 67.5 if you have you can look on scores. I have scores and odds up on my computer and phone 24/7. So you can, that's our sort of little prop app and picks and things like that. But I got that. And then Chief, we got to figure out which Jameis Winston prop's the best one. Because one of my plays of the week is the rushing yards of Jameis Winston at 15.5. So he was over this in 4 of his 6 games last year. I wish Atlanta had a little bit better of a pass rush. But this is like 2 rushes. The blitz is way, way, way over, like almost double this. Every projection site I've looked at has them over this. You can get 16.5 on Sportsbook at plus money. Like I've hammered that. This is one of my favorite props of the week. Yours is the passing yards. I think that's great too. Like we're both on that over 2.5 for the season long of 300 yards. They even have a combination of both of them together here. Let me find it. Where did it go? Wait, that's season long. They have a combination, but there's extra yards in there, Chief. I don't want to play the extra yards from the combination. I either want to play the pass yards or the rushing yards. I like the rushing yards. I mean, it just seems like a foregone conclusion. He's going to hit this week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. I just think Jameis is going to get unleashed again. And that's why I feel like the 2.5 for the season over 300, like that was just, first of all, he plays in the NFC South where if he's facing the Buccaneers, he's going to have to push the ball. At least in those, he might hit 300 yards against the Buccaneers alone, much less the rest of the season. Like, I think that 2.5 over 3, like that's just wrong. Okay, I'll leave that where it is. But against Atlanta in the Dome, and I guess I'm pulling out some of my Derek Carty thinking here, but I definitely think against Atlanta at 225, I think he's got enough weapons to get this done. And what I mean is, yes, Alvin Kamara is a beast, but Alvin Kamara could pick up 60 yards on a passing play. Mm-hmm. I mean, he catches a screen. That could be 20, 30 yards against 225. He's going to have a full complement of receivers. Like, I think it's a really big deal of him having Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, and Chris Olave at his disposal. Like, this is a big deal, along with Alvin Kamara, who can catch passes out of the backfield and in space. They'll flank him out. Same way they do McCaffrey, match him up against a linebacker, and it's pretty much a free slant or a free out. Like, I think Jameis has too many options to go over this week. And so I know some people may talk about, oh, Atlanta has good cornerbacks outside. They do, but they can't cover all of the slants. They can't cover everybody. So Landry and Michael Thomas, Olave, if they mix these guys around, they're going to eat. Kamara is going to eat. So I really like Jameis Winston over 225.5. That's one of my top props of the week in the passing game. I do have another one. I'm going to save that one. Let you kind of chime in here and get your take on Jameis. But I've got a game of the week I'm going to stack probably. And even if I don't get 15x, I won't care. I just think this game is going to shoot out. We'll talk about that one. And then whatever thoughts you have, man, like, please throw them in the pot because we want to help people make as much money as they can.
Yeah, I like the either one. I like the rush yards. You like the pass yards. They juiced up 5 extra yards in the combo, passing, rushing for Winston. So pick one, and I think you're going to be good this week. Either one, I think he goes over both pretty easily. I want to get your game of the week here. Are we going for 15x? Because maybe you can just talk about this is specifically to Prize Picks, how you get a 15x, right? Because normally if you pick 5, it's a 10x. But there's certain ways you can make your team. Like there's a 2-pick. If you pick the two quarterbacks in the same game on the same stat, let's say on Thursday you want Allen to go over his passing yards and Stafford to go under. It goes from 3 to 3.5, right? So you get a little bit of extra payout if you play the quarterbacks from the same game, the same stat, in one higher and one lower. So that's a little trick to Prize Picks to get a little bit of a payout. I haven't found one I like yet. I'm waiting later in the week, a bunch of other. I love the quarterback rushing yards, Chief. These are my jam. There's a couple others I'm going to try to find. If they come out right, that's going to be how I get my 3.5x. But you can combine this with a couple other plays to get a 15x. So why don't we get into that?
Yeah, man. And I think, Brit, if you can, let's just go Thursday. Did you, and I didn't get a chance to see your screen. Did they get a chance to actually see the 15x payout on the screen?
I can throw it up here. Yeah, whatever you.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's just go Josh Allen over 275, Matthew Stafford under 275. And as you mentioned in the prop shop earlier this week,
wait, is this the play you like? Is this a play?
No. This isn't it. This isn't it.
All right, I want to make this clear to everyone. All right, so we're just showing.
This isn't it. This is just for demonstration.
All right,
just for demonstration.
And don't forget, there's a lot of people that listen on the podcast feed too, Chief. So just talk it through so that they can get it if they don't have the screen up.
Absolutely. So right now we're just a demonstration of how the 15x would come into play. So, and I may have to play with it a little bit just to make sure everything's similar, as similar as possible to last season. But we've got Josh Allen for Thursday night over 275 and Matthew Stafford under 265.5 yards. So they've got more or less now. And when you do that, Britt, you do actually increase the payout for the power as well. What we discovered this season for NFL is it's 3.5x. Last year it was 4x on this.
I missed that 4x.
Yeah, that extra half is a big deal. Now, if you put in 100, you're getting 350 versus the 400, but still a better payout than usual. So I'm not going to complain. I do think, Britt, that they've somewhat hoodwinked us, bamboozled us, swindled us here. Last year we could plug in kickers and a tackle, and this will become 15X. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, if I'm not mistaken. If you could just maybe plug in both kickers and the tackles, I think it's going to change some. Oh, it's 10, and then where is it at when you go tackles?
Let's see. Calculating now.
They've got us. We can't use tackles and kickers anymore. And I know what they did, Brit. They used to have a DST tab.
They'll have that. They'll have the DST fantasy score. It's just not up yet.
Yeah, but I'm saying they had a full tab, and maybe we can use kicker fantasy scores, and that might actually work. We don't have that at our disposal yet. But if I'm not mistaken, Brit, you can still complete the 15X if we remove the kickers and add in, let's just say we take a receiver from Buffalo. We'll just take him over receiving yards. You like Gabe Davis anyway. Let's plug him in. And then we will take and once again, folks, I'm playing with it on the air because I got to make sure it's right. And I'll probably have to repost this in the prop shop. If we take another receiver from LA under, it can be anybody. Let's just, whoever you decide from LA.
All right.
Cooper Kupp under, what is that?
Oh,
all right,
we're up to 12. Up to 12.4. We're getting somewhere.
Okay, we're at 12.5. And then maybe let's throw a kicker or a tackle in there and see if there's 50. Let's just check and
field
see.
Goal.
That'd be nice if
field
they
goal,
did.
Field goal.
Down
10.
to 10.
Let's try your tackle.
Tackles.
Tackles 12.
Okay, I mean, I'll still take 12X, but I'm going to have to play with this. Last year was pretty much automatic. It may be, Brit, if we get kicker fantasy points, that might work with the tackles. We'll see. But that's the formula. So the formula is a quarterback passing yards over.
I like this because I just want to chime in here real quick because this 12.5X on the 4. So, and this is correlated, right? Because you're taking over Josh, again, these are not the picks we're playing. You're taking over a quarterback passing yards, over his receiver passing yards, and under on the other quarterback and under on the other receiver. So there's a ton of correlation and a 4 pick, and you're getting 12.5X. This looks like a great way to play Prize Picks.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I like it. Hey, so our boy KK, Mr. CSGO himself, Kyler says, just add in CSGO, and we can't do that. But right now,
3 CSGOs.
Yeah, we actually, and honestly, that's probably the formula because last year, I don't think if people were in the prop shop and watching, we take 2 quarterbacks and then we throw an NBA and CSGO and a tennis play, and that was 15X.
All the plays of the day from the prop shop just get thrown in there, and everyone goes home happy.
Yeah. That's another secret. But I'm gonna get back on track. I'm gonna get back to NFL, Brit. Because I know, we got to let these people go and ride out of here. But so my game of the week, and this isn't necessarily 15X. I'll probably post my 15X on Sunday. That's typically what I do when all the rest of the lines are out. I'm going to go with the Chargers and the Raiders game. And let me tell you why. I think this is the fireworks game of the week for props. We've got Derek Carr coming in at 260.5. I think he's going through that. If you look at, I'm not going to give away the blitz projection itself, but I think he's going over 260.5 this week. He's got a new shiny toy at his disposal, along with some other reliable pieces. So I really like him. And then for Justin Herbert, I was really kind of, I don't want to say caught in the middle here, but Herbert's passing yard prop is at 280.5. His rushing yard prop is at 13.5. And so that felt really tasty to me. I'm sure there are going to be some plays that break down. I also looked at, and Brit, this is something that they're doing as well. I looked at the passing and rushing yards combined, and that one was at 296.5. Believe it or not, even though there's a 3-yard bump between the two, I still like it because I think Herbert's going for 300 regardless. If not, I think he'll be close, like in the 290 range. So I still like Herbert there. And then Mike Williams is at 58.5, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, I've already kind of gone through this, so I know where a lot of the plays are. Mike Williams is at 58.5. So he's a guy that I really like for receiving yards. Once again, I'm all about the correlation when it comes to like the game stack props. If I think Herbert is going to go for close to 300, I was really hoping we were going to get Austin Eckler at like 25, 28 and a half yards. But have it yet, but be on the lookout. I'm not going to add that in there, but be on the lookout. If he's there in that 25, 28 range, take it. He's going to catch a couple screens, a couple dump offs. He'll get the 25, 28 yards easy. If he comes in, I'm thinking he comes in probably around, 32, 33 and a half maybe, somewhere around there. But Austin Eckler is going to be my other piece. And then on the other side, the question is, how much volume do you think Devontae Adams is going to get? It can't be the same volume that he got when he was in Green Bay. I don't think that's the case. But he's so talented. Even let's say he gets Brit, 8, 9 targets. I think he's still getting 8 or 9 targets here at 85 and a half. If I think that Carr is going for 300 plus, and I do, I'm taking Devontae every time. I know Waller is 50 and a half, and I know third down and Renfro is there at 47 and a half. And I think those guys are great, but I think we want to showcase Devontae Adams right out of the gate. 85 and a half, I'm taking the over, and that's going to complete that full game stack. And maybe we get an extra bump because we're taking all the overs. But even so, that's not necessarily a 50x play. This is the nuts game of the week for me for props in terms of upside. I'm rolling with all of them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see here. No, there's no bonus because we didn't take an under in anywhere in the year. So like the secret is the same game quarterback, 1 over, 1 under, and that is not this one. But you throw this in a sports book, you're going to get like plus 700, plus 600 because it's so correlated, and you're getting plus 900. Right, yeah. on these or any of the prop sites basically for a 4-pick. So if you're going to play instead of the same game parlay, you make out much, much better on the prop sites doing this because they allow you to do it and they don't knock it down towards what the actual sports books do. So I agree. 260 for Carr seems way too low, right?
Yeah,
I definitely get on board that one. They're gonna pass. They got Devontae Adams.
Right. Like that was a no-brainer one for me, man. Even on, let me see. I think on Thrive. No, he wasn't on Thrive, was he? Nope, he hasn't made it to Thrive yet. I gotta think he comes in probably around the same thing. So I'm not really sweating. They have Thrive doesn't have up all the props yet. Of course, PrizePicks has a lot more. If you like another sneaky prop, I'm just going to throw this one in, Brit, as we're closing this thing out. But if you like another sneaky prop, I do still think there's value in the rushing yard prop for the guy from the Steelers. What is his name? Jesus.
Oh, Najee. Yeah,
Najee. He was at like 58, 59 and a half rushing. Like, Najee's going to get 20 carries. Like, I
Blitz has him over 70. He's over on 70.
Yeah. So just plug that one in as well. I think we've given out enough for people to like get a feel. This is going to be the show every week. I promise it's going to get better, especially as we get more data, Britt. Like, the more data we get from the season, the better it's going to be. But I did want to give up this handful of props this week. I think that's enough for you to make a 5 flex and get 10x on any site. One other point out, Underdog does have a flex option now that they're calling insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So
update your app, guys. Update the app.
Yeah. So if you go with the 5 pick, you can still get 20x, and that is something that I like about it. You can still get 20x if you choose, but if you want to take the out and say, man, if I get 4 for 5, the payout is actually better than PrizePicks. You're getting 2.5x for 4 out of 5 insurance play. And I mean, you can just judge your confidence level. I'm not going to tell you how to play it. Whatever you decide is whatever you decide. I think I'll put it to you like this: if I'm combining plays of the day, like if I've got like some monster plays, slam dunk plays, Brit said, "Hey, this is a play of the day." I've given out a play of the day. Other guys in the prop shop that you trust, are guys in the industry, not just the prop shop that you trust, have given out a play of the day. I'm probably just going to roll it 20x, and just trust that we've all done our homework and have gotten this thing right. So, Britt, I'll shut up now and let you do your thing. But this has been phenomenal. The show is only going to get better, folks. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, and we talk mainly prize picks, but there's Underdog, there's Monkey Knife Fight, there's Thrive. If you want to sign up to any of them, you can just go to the top of RotoGrinders, click on the DFS site banner. There are links to all of them. You will get the best bonus in the industry, whatever it is, by signing up through the RotoGrinders links. Join the prop shop on Discord. Hopefully some of you have done that throughout the show or throughout the week. Tag Chief. Chief puts out alerts, right? And if you subscribe to his alerts, anytime Chief posts his plays of the day, you'll get a pop-up on your phone or whatever through Discord where you automatically get to see it and you can jump on it right away before the lines move. He's got it set up real sweet for everybody. There's a lot of other smart people in there as well. And I don't know, Chief. I think that's about it. We went over a lot of our favorite plays. We talked about the prop shop. If any of you guys want to leave a review or check out the reviews page or things like that for any of these sites that you play on, make sure to do that on RotoGrinders. We're always looking for those too. Click the like on YouTube. We appreciate it. All you guys tuning in and listening throughout the week. And if you guys ever want to know about a certain prop, just tag me or Chief in the prop shop on Discord. We will get to it eventually. I can pretty much promise you. I know if you tag me, I'll pretty much get to it, and I know Chief will because that's his little baby he's got going on over there on the Discord. All right, Chief. This has been a blast. Let's all make some money. Get your 5 picks. Get your Thursday night. Get all the sites. Get your bonuses through RotoGrinders, and everyone have yourself a good week. For Chief, I'm Brit. Thanks for watching and listening, and we out ya.